Hi guys, greetings and good morning from Nigeria. You're on to Augustine, and today I'm here to just give us quick updates about our community and progress so far, and also to give us some other information that I think may be needful or will be needful over time. And I want to begin by saying I've not been so active lately, and the reason why I haven't been so active lately is because we're rounding off the year, and when it's at the end of the year, a whole lot of activities come up, and those activities make it such that we may not have time until we're through with what we are doing. Another thing I should also intimate the community is that I'm actually preparing for rebranding. In our Kringle community, we are going for rebranding from next year, and it's very obvious that by next year I'll be facing the Kringle community full time. Yeah, I've not been full time in the community, but then I knew that the community will get to a point where it will need my full attention, 100%. So from the January of next year, I think I should go in for full time activity. And you don't have a choice. If you're a member in the community and you haven't gone full time, I really wonder what you're doing because in the community, I don't think that the returns that I make from the exchange is anything like what I receive from my place of work. My place of work is wonderful and they do pay good returns. But compared to what I get from the exchange, I mean, it's a far cry. So I'm not even paying attention anymore to how much returns I make from my place of work because the exchange is one in a billion, not just one in a million. So today I'm going to be talking about why we should do more of peer-to-peer transactions in our Kringle community. And there are a whole lot of things I'm also going to review, which I believe some of you will be aware of. But if you are not aware of it, then I think you're hearing it from me for the first time. All right. Now, moving forward, do well. If you're just tuning into my broadcast for the first time, do well to like, share, subscribe, especially on the part of liking, because it actually shows social proof. It means that we are united. I want a situation where broadcasters will have the highest number of likes in the YouTube space because as we build our membership base into 1 billion, each time someone makes a broadcast and the community has one spirit, it means you come in and like. And as long as you come in and like, it means you are causing the person to become more and more influential in the YouTube space. And that shows a united spirit. So please do well to like, do well to share, and do well to subscribe. Because going forward, there are a whole lot of information that I'll be bringing to the community going forward. All right, so now, why we need to do more of peer-to-peer transaction. Now, the first thing I want us to understand is that we are a private community. We are like a country that exists on the air. That's what we are. And over time, we are going to become strong and formidable. We are going to look like a world power over time. And over time, also, the world will want to identify with the Kringle community. Now, I want us to be very clear. There is every tendency that from next year, the name I am using, Kringle community, may not continue. It may become something else. But then it's up to the administration to decide how it's going to be. Okay. So let's move forward. For now, let's make do with the fact that we call it the Kringle private community because based on the rebranding, the administration will put in a whole lot of new things. Okay. Now, as I was saying, that we need to do more of peer-to-peer transactions. Now, I would first of all want to make you guys understand that there is a space we are already familiar with, and that space is called the public domain. The public domain is a space where people do transactions, and for every transaction you do, they charge you on a transaction fee level. That's what they do. And every other system we have known, the banking system and other systems out there, when you do a transaction, they charge you a fee. But as a private community, we are going to move away from that. as we engage in a peer-to-peer transaction. We already know that in the peer-to-peer transactions, there are no transaction fees. Right from our Kringle wallets to our exchange wallets, GGR, KLove, and FarmWall, there are no transaction fees required. Now, the idea of people going peer-to-peer is to encourage, number one, liquidity in our community. As long as there are more people coming into the community and then there are people who enjoy doing transactions peer to peer, it's going to cause liquidity because the coins will be circulating among us, members of the Kringle Private Society. And from my point of view, it's a good one. So it will encourage liquidity, and liquidity will also cause the price to go up. Now, let's go into the exchange. The exchange we have, the administration designed it for a purpose. What is the purpose of that exchange? Simple. The purpose of that exchange is to empower members of the Kringle Private Society. So I'm going to share my screen now so that you understand what I'm saying. Okay, I think my screen is now being shared. So I would want to begin I want to begin by talking about rewards, Kringle rewards. So on the Kringle rewards section, there is a particular place that I want to bring our attention to. Kringle reward limitation. Yes, this is where I want to bring our attention to. Now, this is just what I want to let us understand. And it was written some years back. So I'll quickly read it out. Now, that I'm aware of a number of institutions that are beginning to engage TBC. Now, this should be made very clear. And Cookie Rewards, then it was Cookie Rewards, now it's Kringle Rewards. Soon to get something else when we rebrand. Now, Cookie Rewards were created for the people only. For the people only. Cookie Rewards allow the people a fast pathway to abundance in TBC wealth. Institutions have access to large sums of resources, and those cannot be used to access the Cookie Rewards. Otherwise, TBC would become the very same thing that doesn't work for the people, where the few have the most of everything while the masses suffer. Cookie Rewards is the mechanism being used to roll out the distribution phase to a billion people from all over the world. At the end of this distribution phase, we will create a million billionaires and a billion millionaires given through empowerment to those that receive it. The people do not have to be wealthy to begin with, to use the Cookie Rewards to become empowered by a change in their socio-economic status to one with a great deal of means to express their creative wills. This means spread throughout humanity will change the world for the better. As we all embrace lifestyle of abundance, we are on a mission to end poverty globally. We appreciate the participation of institutions and their contributors towards that mission. Now, the point I'm actually driving at here is that institutions do not have access to having TBC coins. Like the administration said, 1 million billionaires and 1 billion millionaires. That was very clear. Now, when we move into the exchange, if you look at the exchange, you'll find out that it was exclusively created for members of the Kringle community, only active members. Inactive members will not have access to this wealth. Now, the active members in this community are expected to take note of the following. Number one, remain active. It's a commitment that you are going to have to do for the rest of your life. Now, at the stage we are filling out the administrative level. And for now, we filled out the two phases, which is the core team and the backup team. We are filling out the rotator team. We know that we'll fill out to a considerable extent a number of people in this December promo. But then there is something I should bring to your attention. The idea of this exchange is another phase of empowerment. Over the past 6 years, we've been distributing TBC coins to members of the community who remained active. And those who remained committed and active, like CJ, which is the Chief Justice of this community, has over 1 million coins, heading towards 2 million. It's not something to hide, it's something that he's proud about. And every other member of the community also should be proud of the fact that they stayed committed to this cause. Now, the system checked your commitment for past 6 years, and now it's giving you a reward. And that reward is the gold mine that has been given to us by the administration. That gold mine is the exchange that has been given to us. Now, I want us to understand something quite very, very, very well. The coins originally is 1.1 billion. 1 billion will be distributed to active members on the community, in the community, based on how much TBC coins you have. That's just it. Okay. Now, what happens to the other 111 million, 111,111? That's a question to ask. Well, when you look at it, you discover that we have a gold backed system, and our K Love is going to be used as a collateral to ensure that we stay committed to that institution or organization that is in charge of our gold mine. So we store up that gold there and then have a collateral, which is our K Love. I can't actually remember the amount, but when you go to PSC scan, you'll find out that there are coins that are being stored there. And as at now, it's in the custody of Oba, who resides in Dubai at the moment. Now, that coin is going to be there and serve as a collateral to ensure that we are committed to having more dealings with them. Now, that's not just the only one. Over time, as the liquidity of KLove builds, we're also going to expand our gold base to have several organizations who will also serve as storage for our gold backed system. So that's actually one of it. Now, that leaves us with a reasonable amount of coins. And that amount of coins are supposed to be for the market to interact with, for the market to deal with, for the market to purchase. But you will find out that the administration has been sucking up a reasonable supply of these coins. He has been sucking up a reasonable supply of these coins and hoarding it. Now, do you really think he's sucking it all up and hoarding it? From my point of view, the answer is no. He's not just sucking it all up and hoarding it, although it's one part of it, but there is another part of it. Now, the idea of hodling is what he's doing. Now, if one individual hoards all the coins and shrinks all the supplies, the value of the coin will definitely go up, but it's going to have a different pattern if over 100 people or 1,000 people or 5,000 people holds the coin in a different proportion and does not spend it in the exchange. So what the administration is going to keep doing over time is to check the liquidity of the exchange and from time to time add commensurate amount of coins in the liquidity pool in the exchange or in the market in the exchange to ensure that players in that particular exchange are able to trade and make a reasonable amount of KLove and a reasonable amount of GGR and also a reasonable amount of firmware through the process of gold mining, or should I say mining. From my point of view, I won't call that a trading concept because the idea of that exchange is easier than trading. You and I will agree that it's easier than trading because when you are talking about trading, you have to talk about speculation, you have to talk about trend lines, and you have to talk about fundamental analysis and all that. Now, ours is not that. If you understand how to trade, you don't need all those things. All you just need to do is understand the pattern of the trading, know when to buy low and sell high. That's all. As long as you follow up on those patterns of buying low, selling high, and also placing alarm so that when it drops, you get an alert. Some stuffs like that. You keep making money and you keep making money. And you can also withdraw some money. Now, it's not as if it's impossible or it's alien to withdraw money. But the truth is, for every 10 coins that you make, you withdraw one. Now, let me say it again. If you trade and make 10K love and you want to withdraw, you can withdraw 1K love, but you should not make it a habit of withdrawing every day. The problem that people are having in our community is that they think that our private exchange is going to look like FTX Another exchanges that are out there that are actually having some shambles or challenges at the moment. I tell you without mixing words that our exchange will be a kind of the biggest banking kind of, okay, without, I wouldn't call it banking. It's going to be a very huge system that will hold the wealth of all or most of the members in the Kringle Private Society. It will create massive liquidity for our GGR. Yes, because when you can store up all your money in GGR and then swap it to KLove whenever you want, a certain amount, of course, not all, and then you cash out. Now, like the banking system, if everybody who are customers in the banks pulls out all their money, what happens to the bank? It will fall. So also in our exchange, if you are storing up money there, it is a way of what? Multiplying your resources. It's a way of multiplying your resources because as long as you keep trading, the administration adds a certain amount of liquidity from time to time to ensure that when you trade, you get the profit that you're supposed to get for every swapping you make, which is buying low and selling high. It's as simple as that. If you choose to start with $500, in a month, you can be able to double your money, sometimes double it twice. So, why will someone choose to withdraw all his or her money just because he or she is not confident on the system? So many of you's opinion is that they don't want it to crash. We've been here for over 6 years. We have not crashed. Instead, we have become stronger and we are getting much more stronger to the point where we are rebranding ourselves to become a system that will be of the people, by the people, and for the people. And some people are still saying, I'm afraid. I want to be able to trade with $10, get back my $10, withdraw it from the system, and continue with the other $10. From my point of view, that's a beggarly mindset. That's a scarcity mindset. So I want you to change. If you listen to this broadcast and you are in agreement with me, then don't be afraid of leaving your money there because nothing will happen to your money. And if you choose to trade with your money, you'll be able to make 10 times much more returns from that money that you have put in there. It doesn't matter what amount you want to start with. Whichever amount you put in there, you can trade with it, make good profits, compound your money, keep compounding it. And you can even decide to say, I would come in and trade for a period of time and then go. You do it twice in a day. Like myself, I do it once in the morning and then in the evenings. Make good returns, go home smiling, as long as you're able to understand how the market works. Now, I've said that. Now, moving over to the next idea. The whole idea is as long as there is more activities going on in the exchange, the administration has already made up his mind, and it will be that before we have our equal match, the price of KLove has the tendency of getting to $100 and above between now and January 12th. Some of you will say, I don't know how true that is, but I want us to watch and see how it's going to be. Now, but you have a part to play. What part do you have to play? Come into the exchange and trade. At least withdraw all the money you have in your MetaMask on the public and then bring it into our private exchange and hodl it. Now, those who choose to trade with the exchange will help themselves by making more profits. And as long as you're making more profits from time to time, admin will refill or continue to keep the liquidity at a level. Now, the purpose of keeping it at that level is to make sure that the number of people holding the coin will cause the price to go up. Remember, I said if one man hodls the coin, it won't have as much effect as 1,000 people hodling the coins at different proportions. It would cause the price to go up because this is just basic demand and supply. When there is a higher demand on a particular item, and then the supply is shrinked, the price will go up. So admin is building a system, a mechanism where he holds majority of the coins and then redistributes it back through our private exchange to the active members who are trading in the exchange. It's as simple as that. Now, this is just like the early times of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin started, people paid less attention to it. But if you were among those who did the mining, it didn't cost you much to mine, but you may have mined up to 5,000 or more Bitcoins, which didn't have much worth then. But you find out as at now, the worth of Bitcoin is off the roof, even though it's been to a good extent, squeezed. But the point is, those who have a reasonable amount of Bitcoin are living large. They are living large. Now, that idea is now being re-established through our private exchange. So I crave your indulgence and I request humbly that you go into the exchange and go play with it. Go make as much returns and don't get tired of making returns. Okay. Remember that for every 10K love you make, you can withdraw one. And let your withdrawals be as little as possible. If you are withdrawing in a month, you can withdraw twice. That's what I do. In a month, I can withdraw twice. Okay. So if I make 10K love, I can withdraw 1K love and leave the other 9K love there. If you want to keep the system running, please do as recommended. Some of you are withdrawing every day, and it's not a good idea. Some of you just withdraw 50% of your money. It's not a good idea. If you are looking at withdrawing 25% and above, then you are not being considerate, because it is people coming together to cause a system to stand. And if one person is choosing to act otherwise, it's not going to speak well on that person and also for the rest of us, because it will cause the price to go down. So this is what I have to advise on. Now, let's move to the final point, why we need to do peer-to-peer transactions. Peer-to-peer transactions should be encouraged because we are moving away from the system. And when you're talking about the system, you're talking about every system that has to do with outside, the ones that has been established by the elites, the banking kind of system, the coin market cap kind of system, and all those systems. Now, how do we intend going about it? Number one, peer-to-peer. Now, if you are there and you want to buy KLove to pay subscription fee, the first thing you do is to convert your cash to BNB. Am I right? I guess so. When you do so, you send it to your MetaMask wallet and swap it for KLove. Am I right? I think you're nodding your head. Now with that, you now make your payments, right? Even if you want to buy GGR, you send it to the exchange and swap it for GGR. That's how it has been. But now we're moving away from that. And how are we moving? Peer-to-peer. Whoever wants to pay subscription fee now, going forward, we will give you the money cash based on 8 grains of gold. So let's find out what 8 grains of gold is. Let me make it easier for myself. I just come here and then click on this gold grain calculator. It's taking time to load. Sorry. I want to go about the gold grain calculator. I wanted to just show us something. The gold grain calculator will show the value of 8 grains of gold. The idea of transaction fee is the elite mindset, okay? When you are dealing with a sustainable medium of exchange, which is gold, you don't need transaction fees, okay? So many people are fraudulently taking advantage of people. Subscription fee, 8 grains of gold. Some pay as much as 10 grains of gold, which is not bad, okay? Which is not bad. It's the original idea that the administration put out, 10 grains of gold. Now, some people go more than 10 grains of gold. Some people go as high as 12 grains of gold. And some people do not teach their counterparts or do not teach their downlines how the system works. You see, the problem that people are having is they want to eat money, but they don't want to be held accountable for the money they eat. You do not know that it is job, it is responsibility to bring in one person to the community. It's not just all about you tell the person pays. Paying the subscription fee is 1/100. You have 99% responsibility to teach the person the system. I do not know why people don't take time to teach people, and it's actually work to teach people. If you have 2,000 downlines, 1,000 downlines, 50 downlines, and all those downlines don't know how the system works, from my point of view, you have not done well as an upline. Okay, now I'm talking about 8 grains. As at now, the value of 8 grains is $29. Presently, people who pay subscription fee using cash centers or through leaders, a good number of them charge them $10, which is not bad, okay? But as we transition into this peer-to-peer system, it wouldn't be $10 anymore. It won't be 10 grains. It won't be ideal to go for 10 grains. If you choose to charge for 10 grains, that's your choice, okay? But from my point of view, the area of interest, we are cutting off that concept called interest, because it's not okay to continue to charge interest for a stable currency. So when you go for 8 grains of gold, you could be nice enough to say 8.5. You could be nice enough, okay? the transaction fee should be minimal. It shouldn't be so high as it used to be before, because we are getting more organized and we are restoring the world to a system that is based on God's point of view, which is gold and silver. Okay, but we are not going on silver, we're just on gold. Now, on gold, standing on gold, transaction fee should be about 8.5. When you convert this money to your own currency value, that's what you are going to hand over to the person that will help you in paying subscription fee. Now, that person, the system designed by the administration will not encourage paying for somebody through your personal exchange. Instead, it would encourage collecting the person's wallet address and then sending it to his own address, his own exchange wallet. And once he has sent it, then you guide the person, possibly through a Zoom or one-on-one, so that he can pay for his subscription fee using his exchange wallet, his K-Love exchange wallet. And as soon as he has done that, that's all that is required of him. And he's active for XXX amount of months, possibly 1 month, possibly 2 months, depending on the amount. So what I am actually saying here is, if enough of us decide to start going peer to peer, now you collect cash and then pay for the person using your own wallets, using the coins you already have in your wallet, you pay, and the person goes on with his subscription fee for the period of time he has paid for. This is what we're moving into now. Some people now will be asking, okay, if you now want to get K-Love, does it mean you don't need to go through the exchange, through the Binance or whichever exchange you want to work with? Well, we are cutting off that idea now. Now, let me tell you the mind of the administration. If enough of us are able to do peer-to-peer, now what is enough of us? We're talking of the core team, backup team, and all of the rotator team makes it a habit of doing transactions peer-to-peer. What's going to happen is that we're going to upgrade. There is every tendency that we're going to drop the idea of having K-Love as a token, because having K-Love as a token means there is a dependency between K-Love and Binance. Of course, if Binance goes up, our own also slightly goes up, because it's like a child of Binance. If Binance goes down, it drags us, goes down too. Now, the administration holds up the coins so that it limits the supply. And even though it goes down, but not as down as others will go, that's what has been happening. But as soon as we have enough people doing peer-to-peer transactions, the idea of associating to Binance will not be necessary anymore. We cut off and have our own independent K-Love wallet, K-Love coin, no more K-Love token, because as at now it's a token. Now, when it's K-Love coin, what does that imply? It implies that we have a coin that is unique and it is strongly for members of the community for purchase of subscription fee and transactions, as the case may be. Now, to be clear, K-Love is not our end game. Our end game is GTR, not K-Love. So if K-Love is not our end game, it is good that we make it unique so that members in the community do not need to go through the market to access us. Instead, they go directly to every member or any member in the community, pay a certain amount of money to him, and the person transfers a commensurate amount of K-Love into his account. And then that is now going to be what the person can start using either to pay subscription fee or to trade, as the case may be. Now, once this has been established, we've cut off the market. Now, as soon as we've cut off the market, the next thing now we're going to do, not that we're actually cutting off the market, I mean, not that we are doing away with the market, because K-Love is always going to be a market-based coin. But what I'm driving at is the transition of going through Binance and then sending to MetaMask wallets, then swapping to K-Love. That idea, we've cut off that protocol. We are moving directly now. You have your cash, you send it to the person, and then the person gives you K-Love. That's now going to be the process. So it's going to be a smart and faster process. Now, like I said, once the core team, backup team, and rotator team are all using this as a medium of payment, because that's what will really happen. Now, it should be emphasized that the transaction fee should be as minimal as possible. Okay. Now, once this has been achieved, the next thing that would happen is that we would have what you call a united mindset, and it would cause the price of KLove to go up. Why? Because everybody is holding the coin and nobody is converting it to another coin. Everybody is holding the coin, which are the cut-in, back-cut-in, rotator, holding the coin, and they are transacting among themselves. And as long as there is transaction among each other, that's liquidity. The more it happens, the liquidity will rise, and then the more that people hodl it, it also rises. And then the more the administration sucks up the supply from the market and redistributes it back to the members in our private exchange, it will cause the price to go up. Now, this can be done between now and the end of this year if we do a good job. It can be done between now and the end of this year, and it will only continue to increase. By the first quarter of next year, I am expecting the price of KLove to get to at least 150 or more because of this thing I have just explained. Okay, and I don't know when the administration will decide to say it's time we move to become a coin, but expect that as part of our faces in our rebranding next year. Okay, now what was my topic? Why we prefer going peer-to-peer. If we refuse to do peer-to-peer transactions, then we are not helping ourselves to go forward. So go ahead, do peer-to-peer transactions. Go ahead, do more of trading through the exchange. Go ahead and multiply your returns, but limit your withdrawal. I'm using myself as an example. When I'm withdrawing, for every 10 KLove I make, I withdraw one twice in a week. So that means, using my instance, I withdraw 2 KLove in a month. Now, if you want to withdraw 100 KLove in a month, then that means you should be able to make 100,000 KLove through the exchange. If you are willing to withdraw a million KLove, then you should be able to make 100 million KLove for the exchange. Now, this is what I'm trying to explain. 1:10. So those of us who cannot do such kind of volume of transactions, then you have to limit yourself to what you have and cooperate. Because from next year, we're moving into a concept called Wales Protocol. Wales Protocol means that every member who are on the administrative level will be known by the system. And every of those members are supposed to abide by the rules, terms, and conditions set by the system. Anyone who violates it stands the chance of losing out from the benefits that he or she would benefit, will derive, will enjoy as he interacts as a core team, backup team, and or rotator team. So I hope we act accordingly. All right, so I've rounded off my talk for today, and I just want to peruse through. We're having December contest, and 200 people, 200 referrals is now what is needed. So those of us who are doing a good job to bring in these members, I do salute each and every one of you, because it's not an easy thing. Remember that you have to stay committed to each member you bring in. Teach them how the system works. And this is going to be a commitment for the rest of the distribution phase of TBC. This competition is not likely going to end until we have distributed all the coins out of the admin wallet to the hands of the people. So we are going to see how it's going to be from next year. All right, I want to stop at this point. If there are people that want to ask questions, do well to reach out to me. I think I dropped my number there via WhatsApp. Okay, except I give you the opportunity to call me on phone. Apart from that, please deal with me on WhatsApp. Okay. All right. So I think I'll stop here. Thank you so much for those of us who have listened to this point. I'm grateful. Remember, do well to like, do well to share, do well to subscribe. Okay. All right. Cheers and God bless you. Bye for now.